I told my mother-in-law that her nursing experience doesn't matter after she gave me dangerous medical advice. My husband's mom, Janet, has always been difficult, but she loves to throw around the fact that she used to be a nurse 20 years ago. She acts like she's still qualified to give medical advice to everyone in the family, even though she hasn't worked in healthcare for decades. Last week, I came down with the worst flu I've ever had. I had a fever of 102, body aches so bad I could barely move, and a migraine that felt like someone was drilling into my skull. I'd been in bed for 3 days straight, and my husband Ryan was taking care of me. Ryan had been on the phone with his mom when I started throwing up again. He told her he had to go because I was really sick and needed help. That should have been the end of it, but 30 minutes later, my phone starts ringing. It's Janet. I answered, thinking maybe something was wrong, and she immediately starts lecturing me about how to treat my flu. She tells me I need to take a scalding hot shower to sweat out the toxins. When I explained that I already had a high fever and hot water would make it worse, she insisted I was wrong. Then she tells me to go for a long walk outside to get fresh air and boost my immune system. I'm literally so dizzy I can barely stand up to use the bathroom, but she's telling me to go exercise. When I said that was impossible, she got annoyed and said I was being dramatic. The final straw was when she told me to take leftover antibiotics from her medicine cabinet because all infections need antibiotics to clear up. I explained that I had a viral infection, not bacterial, so antibiotics wouldn't help and could actually make things worse. That's when she pulled out her trump card. She goes, "Well, I'm a registered nurse, so I think I know more about medicine than you do. You need to listen to someone with actual medical training instead of being stubborn." Something inside me just snapped. Maybe it was the fever, maybe it was being sick for days, but I completely lost it on her. I said, "Janet, you're not a nurse anymore. You haven't been a nurse for 20 years, and you lost your license for stealing pain medication from patients." She went dead silent, so I kept going. Medicine changes constantly. The stuff you learned decades ago is outdated, and you were never qualified to begin with since you got fired for being a drug addict. I wouldn't trust you to put a band-aid on a paper cut, let alone treat a serious illness. She started stuttering and trying to defend herself, saying that wasn't why she left nursing, but I cut her off. "Stop pretending you're still qualified to give medical advice when you can't even remember to take your own blood pressure medication half the time." Then I hung up on her. Within 5 minutes, Ryan's phone was blowing up with texts from Janet crying about how disrespectful I was and demanding that he make me apologize. She was telling the whole family that I attacked her for trying to help and that I was ungrateful for her medical expertise. Ryan read through all her messages and just started laughing. He told me that for years, Janet had been giving everyone in the family terrible medical advice and getting mad when they didn't follow it. His sister once ended up in the emergency room because Janet convinced her to treat a kidney infection with cranberry juice instead of antibiotics. The next day, I felt good enough to check Facebook and saw that Janet had posted this long rant about how young people don't respect their elders and how her decades of nursing experience meant nothing to today's generation. She was getting sympathy comments from her friends who didn't know the real story. But then Ryan's aunt commented on the post asking which hospital Janet had worked at recently, since she wanted a recommendation. Janet deleted the entire post within an hour. She hasn't given me any medical advice since then.